Well, it's the 2nd of January, and as always, we're down here at Hango Hill. With me is Mr. Kermode, and another year with, I think, 80-odd people turning up here today?
I'd say about 80 people, which is considered it's midweek, is a good turnout. Scotland, of course, it's a bank holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we've going to put up your version, which is all in Manx, and I just thought we'd use this opportunity for people like myself who don't follow the Manx language completely. If you could give us a rough idea what you were saying in your bit today.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I don't give full translations is because unless somebody specifically requests that we translate their work, it defeats the object because people just read the English. So anyways, I actually wrote this one this year, and basically what it's saying is that the Manx people knew that if they tried to side with the Royalist forces and defend the island against the parliamentarians, and of course the lady and man who had been left in charge absolutely treated the Manx like dirt, so they had no love for her. They knew that even though we could defend ourselves well against the parliamentarians, it would just be a bloodbath, and when the parliamentarians would be inevitably successful, there would be slaughters like there had been in Drogheda and in Wexford. So they got the best deal they could. Illiam Dhone, and he wasn't acting alone. He was actually asked to raise the militia on 2 occasions. There wasn't one uprising, there was 2 uprisings, and they both were essentially bloodless. The second one was, I believe, totally bloodless. The garrisons and the castles surrendered because they knew what was going to go down. And out of that, of course, we were able to secure that we were left alone, essentially. We were garrisoned by parliamentarian troops, but we were allowed to administer ourselves, and that's the reason why we're not part of England today. So that was incredibly important. Now we fast forward to 2.5 years ago, and a slight majority of the English people, and let's be specific, it was the English people, voted to leave the European Union. Now at the time, there was a lot to talk about racism and whatnot, and that got blown up. You know, the tabloid press, as they do, latched onto this, and there was a lot of scare stories about racism. But really, my perception is that the English people simply wanted to get their own sense of self-direction back. That's really where this Brexit thing has come from. But unfortunately, Theresa May has made the biggest brock of it she possibly could, and now they're getting all wobbly and talking about another referendum. Now, here in the Isle of Man, our government has been running around like headless chickens ever since, talking about meetings and negotiations about something that we cannot influence and cannot negotiate. That's the constitutional position. The only way we can do anything to steer ourselves is through full independence. Now, Illiam Dhone and the other Manx people at the time didn't have the power, the means to achieve full independence. That was not on the table. They got the best deal that they could, and they did it through a combination of negotiation and well-played cards. The modern government in the Isle of Man is completely able to go for full independence, but they haven't got the will, and that's our problem. At the moment, my last paragraph said we're a leaf blown in the wind, and we'll continue to be a leaf blown in the wind until we, the Manx people, and the government in the Isle of Man develop a set.
Do you see that day happening?
It's going to have to, unless we. I'm not going to take a position on how Brexit is actually going to play out. If the UK had grasped the nettle at the outset and negotiated back from a hard Brexit, they'd have had a deal by now, a decent deal, I feel. But we're just going to be riding along on the coattails no matter what happens, unless we go independent. And if England goes under, we go under with it, and there's no need for that. We should be. I mean, Malta. It's okay. It's got a lot more benefits in terms of it's a more popular destination for people and whatnot. But Malta's a fully independent country. They got that through not quite armed insurrection, but a lot of agitation through the 50s and into the 60s, and they're doing very well for themselves. Yes, they are a part of Europe. That's their choice to be so.